Hello everyone, I'm Nicolae Trofin from APS Legal and Associates. I would like to tell you about the second marriage syndrome today, but let me ask you a question. What do you think could happen to your assets when you die if you have just a standard will? Well, don't worry, I will give you the answer to this question, but before that, I will ask you another question where you are the only ones who can actually answer it. How would you feel if your assets didn't go to your children, but into the hands of a stranger? So, let's take a case study scenario where John and Mary is a happily married couple. John has got his own assets, Mary's got her own assets. They jointly own a house worth £200,000, and they also got some other jointly owned assets. Right, so if John dies, then the property transfers by survivorship to Mary, and any solely owned assets are accumulated into the estate of Mary. So, what Mary inherits? John assets and they jointly own assets. Right, so if Mary then dies, the value of the estate usually passes to the children and the house sold. So the children inherit the property, Mary assets, John assets, and they jointly own assets. But what if after John's death, Mary falls in love and marries another man? On her marriage, that will is automatically revoked. And if she dies without making a new will, she will die intestate. Who will benefit mostly from the intestacy? Her new husband. So, the new husband inherits the property, John assets, Mary assets, and their jointly owned assets. So, in our case study scenario, I will ask you how much the new husband inherited from Mary's estate. Everything. If the property plus John assets plus Mary assets plus jointly owned assets are less than £250,000. If they are more than £250,000, he inherits £250,000 absolutely, plus life interest in half of the residue. Right, so the children inherit nothing. What John thought would go to his children has now gone to someone he doesn't know. Nothing for children. Which is the solution? Take advantage of your free consultation, no obligation, and let's discuss your family matters. Nicolae Trofin, APS Legal.